Hello everyone, the topic for today is solve equations. Right now I want you to pause the video so you can copy down your notes and then resume when you're ready. So today we're going to cover two lessons, both solving addition and subtraction equations as well as solving multiplication and division equations. So let's get started. To solve an equation, you're going to use the inverse operation to solve it. So if there's addition going on in the problem, you're going to use subtraction to solve. If there's subtraction going on in the problem, you're using addition to solve. If there's multiplying, you would use dividing. If there's dividing, you would use multiplying. For example, we have c plus 3 equals 6. Since there's addition going on in the problem, we're going to subtract 3 in order to solve it. That subtracting 3 essentially cancels out the plus 3, and we are moving that 3 to the other side of the equal sign. Okay, and what we're left with is c equals 3, because 6 minus 3 is 3. Another way to approach that same problem is to say, well, some number plus 3 equals 6. So I call this the cover-up method, because you could just say, all right, I don't know what that number is, and I have to add 3 to it, and I get 6. So I'm trying to figure out what number that is. Well, that number is 3, so again, c equals 3. Okay. Looking at another example, 4g equals 24. Well, again, looking at it, saying, well, some number times 4 gives me 24. Well, that number is 6. So g equals 6. You could have also said, since this is multiplication, we're dividing by 4 on both sides. 24 divided by 4 gives me 6. Again, therefore, g equals 6. The next example is something that you have to pay very close attention to, and that's because we've got a negative number. Okay, so negative 9 equals negative 2 plus x. So again, some number plus negative 2 gives me negative 9. Well, if I'm going to figure that out using the inverse operation, I've got to add a positive 2. Okay, and I realize that there is addition going on in the problem, but we're adding a negative number, which is the same thing as subtracting a positive. So we are looking at negative 9 plus positive 2, which is negative 7. Therefore, x equals negative 7. So, another way to look at that problem so that it hopefully makes a little bit more sense. If we had, so we'll just rewrite it, x plus negative 2 equals negative 9. Remember, the commutative property tells us that we can move around problems when they are addition, move the numbers around. So that is the same thing as saying x minus 2 equals negative 9. So that's where the adding 2 to both sides comes into play. It's because we're adding a negative number, which is the same thing as subtracting a positive. So again, x equals negative 7. So I want you to solve these other 3 examples all on your own, but there are more notes, so don't stop the video just yet. Let's look at a couple more examples. So looking at number 1 here, we've got b minus 3/15 equals 1. I'm just going to rewrite that over here. As always, I want you to simplify your fractions. So let's simplify that. 3/15. If you divide both of those by 3, you get 1/5. Let's clean up that 5. So we're going to add 1/5 to both sides to solve it. So we get b equals 1 1/5, which is choice D. Now you could have also solved that first and then simplified at the end. You would get the same answer provided you simplified correctly. Looking at another example, let's go j minus 8 equals 5. We're going to add 8. Therefore, j equals 13. So, more problems that I would like for you to solve here and here. And some more examples. Let's look at problem number 5. So we have 6 equals j over 8. Well, fractions are division problems, so this is the same thing as saying j divided by 8. So since we have division, we're going to multiply both sides by 8. And we get 48 equals j. Therefore, that's our answer. Looking at number 8, we have 55 equals 11x. 11x means 11 times whatever x is. So we're going to divide by 11. And we get 5 equals x. So I want you to solve this example, this example, and this example. So there are several problems that you need to go back and solve. I want you to bring all of those answers along with any questions that you may have with you to class tomorrow.